peace in the chaos? It's fairly simple, really. It all comes down at the beginning. And I know I say that with everything. Everybody says, oh, you say it's always fairly simple. It is, once you develop the core structure of what you're doing. Nothing can take away your peace if you know your why because you're doing it. If you know why you're doing something, everything else that's circumstances around it just kind of fades away. Nothing really makes a difference as far as the noise, as far as the nonsense. For example, if you're building a house or if you're going to work and you hate your job, which I think a lot of people do, most people go to work thinking about why they go to work. If you're married, for sure. Got kids, absolutely. You go to work thinking about the why. Because. Why do I go to work? Because I want my kids to have a roof. I want them to have healthy food. I don't want them to live in a trailer park or live in tenement housing. I want them to have a future, a college education. That's my why, because. And they find their peace in that moment of the chaos of driving through traffic every damn morning, hating every second of it. The market's really no different. It's a bunch of people trying to get to a certain destination, profit, not really sure how to take the road. Some people drive fast. Some people drive slow. Some people get lost. Some people sit on the side of the road and wait for traffic to slow down. Market's kind of similar to the chaos of going to work. But most people in the market don't know their why because. So they never find their peace in the chaos. If you know your why, all the chaos kind of slips away. Well, people will say, well, that's great. I can know my why. I know why I want to make money. How does that really help me? Well, it's the second step to this. You have to have a plan of how you're going to get there. In the morning, if you're going to go to work and you're just driving haphazardly, depending on the road conditions, say it snowed or say it did this or did that, and you don't check the weather conditions or the road conditions before you leave, you're kind of at the mercy of the rest of those drivers, the rest of the chaos. But if you have a plan, how you're going to get there. If you check the road conditions the day before, the night before, an hour before you leave even, you might find, hey, I don't want to take this route. I want to take that one. I want to go here instead of going there. And if you have a plan that you follow, it lowers your chances of an accident, which brings you peace and understanding in the middle of all the chaos. So the first two steps, or the most important two steps really, is to know the why of what you're doing, and to have a plan that you stick to get to your destination. In trading is profitability, or at least not negativity, not hitting negative. Same as anything else in life. The third step to that, and it ties into both, is most people when they go to work, most working men, are met at the door by their kids who handed their lunch kit or say, bye, Dad, with a big Cheerio-covered grin. And it gives him a moment of gratitude when he gets out in that cold truck or that cold car and starts on his commute to get to work with the rest of the people that have to do this. Makes me a little crazy when I think people have to do that because they really don't, but we'll say they do for this example. And he finds gratitude in his kids. Finds gratitude in that moment. He laughs a little bit at his Cheerio-covered daughter, handing him his briefcase, or his son covered in morning peanut butter, handing him his lunch kit. So he finds gratitude. That's what he opens up with. That's when he first gets into the car. That's what starts the why up. The why because gets going because of that gratitude. Same thing at the end. When he gets home, he finds gratitude in the return. Same thing with trading. See, it might be a small thing when he gets home after a long, hard day of his son learning to walk. That's not very small. His son leaving him a note on the counter written backwards in crayon going, I love you, Dad. Barely illegible, most translatable in a mirror. And he laughs, but to him, it's a small return. And he's grateful for it. Same thing with the market. If you find those moments where you can have a small return at the end of it, accept them, be grateful for them, and use them to close your day. Too often, too many people expect to come back from a trade with everything that they've ever wanted achieved. The money, the stature, the ability to do it again. They've made 400 or 500% return. They think they're geniuses. One trade solved it all. It's not logical. It's not likely. For most people, it's not even possible. And if it does happen, most of the time it's luck. So why would most people follow other teachers or gurus or whatever, or instructors or whatever you feel online, who promise or at least strongly hint at their ability to have several 100% return happen daily? It's not logical. It's not likely. It doesn't increase your peace. If anything, chasing big hunts like that, big trades like that, causes you more chaos and more stress. Because if you can't do it, you must be a failure. And you've let everybody from that peanut butter covered child down to your boss, to your wife, to your family. Go for the small returns at the end of the day. Be grateful for the small things. Because one day, that peanut butter covered note left by your son on the counter turns into a college acceptance letter, turns into a marriage proposal, turns into a family of his own. See, great things happen from small returns. They grow, they increase, because they have room to grow and increase. Whereas with large flash and bang and they're done, those don't last. They might look pretty for 5 minutes, but they're like fireworks. Boom. Oh, beautiful, gone. Good things happen from small increases. Good things happen from finding peace in the chaos. And never forget the power of peanut butter covered notes. Just my thoughts.